Hey everyone, and welcome to Prodigals Build episode 10. I am Kimberly Johnson. I am your host and owner of Prodigal Sons Academy. It is my pleasure to introduce you today to our guest. His name is Ivory Hodges. He is from Detroit, Michigan, and he is an entrepreneur, although he doesn't want to call himself that. But he owns two companies. Both of them have to do with e-commerce. So you'll hear more about both of those companies during our interview. And basically, you're going to learn the 3 easy steps to start your own online store. So without further ado, let's get into the interview.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on the show. Let's get this thing rolling.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. So can you just tell me a little bit about you? I know that you're from Detroit, Michigan, which is really cool because I'm from Michigan. I'm not too far from Detroit. But just tell me a little bit about like where did you grow up and like what was your journey like from Detroit to doing what you're doing now?
I'm from Detroit, the east side of Detroit to be exact, because anytime you talk about Detroit, it's this East Coast versus West Coast thing, right? You got the east side of Detroit, and you got the west side of Detroit. But I'm actually from the east side, born and raised on the east side. Then we moved to the west side of Detroit when I think I was like 12 years old. We moved to the west side of Detroit. So I got the experience of the east and the West, and they don't like each other. The East side of Detroit folks don't like the West side of the folks, so it's just kind of interesting like that. So I had this interesting perspective about the East side, and born and raised there. I went to school in Detroit as well. I went to Kettering High School. That's where I graduated from high school. And actually, I love the fact that I grew up from Detroit. That's like one of my superpowers. Like a lot of people think of Detroit and they think of murder, death, poverty, right? Crime, right? That's the first thing they think about. But for me, it taught me like resilience. It taught me resourcefulness, how to be resourceful. I was actually the first to go to college in my family and the first to graduate. Entrepreneurship was not on my radar whatsoever. It happened to me, and I want to say that my junior year of school, the junior year, my college year, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be like working for the government, doing things in that route. But I ended up going to like this meeting, and this was like years ago. I went to this meeting. It was a business meeting actually, and I heard this dude talking about like, oh well, hey man, you could be a millionaire, you can be successful, and you can do all these things. And I'm like, who are you talking to me? Like, I never seen anybody remotely in the family, neighbors, nobody ever do anything successful other than, maybe go to school, graduate from school, start a job, start a family, which is all great things. But I'm saying I've never seen that, like a person that looked like me talking about you can be a millionaire, and talking about you can be successful and all these other things. So part of me was like, okay, is this a scam? Right? Is this one of those pyramid schemes? And then another part of me was like had this curiosity. I was kind of curious about it. Like, okay, what is this all about? And this person was telling me like how to get products into stores like CVS, Walmart, Sam's Club, Rite Aid, etc. And I didn't understand like, okay, how do you do that? What's the process? In my brain, I'm a logical thinking person. And so I just kept coming over and over and over again. And I really took a keen interest in e-commerce. Like, I mean, the retail side is cool, but for me, like I don't know, I'm a techie person too. So I thought about like e-commerce, and I kind of started my own first e-commerce store. This was back in 2014, 2015, around that time. And I was selling fanny packs. And I don't know why would I sell fanny packs? I don't really remember. I think it was because, yes, I remember this. It was fanny packs because I saw like runners, people ran, they had these like ugly, big old, ugly fanny packs on. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can create something that is kind of hip. Fanny packs, okay, you run it with your fanny pack, you walk in, whatever. Maybe we can create a hip version of that. So started selling fanny packs, and people started buying them. People were buying them. And we just had a slight variation from the ugly ones to the nicer ones. They were a little bit slimmer, a little bit more neat and more modern. And people bought them. And we sold, thousands of dollars of those fanny packs. But That's when I first got my first start in e-commerce. I saw it. I got that first sale, and it was like it's almost like you take that first hit of something, right? A lot of people get addicted to stuff. They take that first hit and they like, wow, that's awesome. I felt like that when I first got that first sale. When somebody that didn't know who I was from Adam came up, paid me some money online, right? They didn't know anything about me, paid me, and I saw it on my end. I got a notification on my phone, and it was like, "Hey, you got a customer," and I was like, "Oh snap!" Like somebody actually paid me for this, right? And I was just blown away because I'm like, "Yo, this is real, right?" So the seed was planted when I went to that business seminar. And he was talking about retail, but I wanted to do online because I felt like online was an easier way for me because I was more tech savvy, etc. And I got that first hit, and Kimberly, I kid you not, something like sparked in me that said, I want the next hit and the next hit and the next and the next and the next. And the rest has been history for me. I've been always trying to chase that high.
I don't blame you. I can imagine that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
So were you on a particular website? Like, how were you selling back in 2014?
Yeah, I used a website called Shopify, which I highly recommend to everybody. Shopify, so it's dope. I love Shopify. And like my business model is simple. And I always share this because I just believe in sharing. So for me, it was really finding the right product first, just finding a product that was trendy, a product that people wanted, a product that it was just a no-brainer for most people. And it was easy to ship, something that was easy to ship. And then the next thing was a website. Like, okay, I need a website. I need to like have my store for the website. And then the third thing I did was find customers. Like, how do you get customers to come to your store? So for me, I use Shopify because it's just so easy. It's so easy to like set a store up. You can do all that in like a day, honestly. You can have your store up and running in a day. It's just that easy. They make it so easy and simple. But even at that time when I was first starting e-commerce, I was tech savvy already, so it didn't take me a long time to adapt to that. But once I got my store up and running, then I knew how to like my issue. No, at first I didn't know how to drive traffic to my store. When I mean drive traffic, I mean get customers that's floating on the internet. Maybe they're on Twitter, Instagram, doing whatever they're doing. How to get them to stop what they were doing from scrolling, look at something that I had presented to them, like an ad, a Facebook ad or Instagram ad or something like that, and get them to hit that button, go to my website and look at my store and what I was selling and to purchase a product. I did not know how to do that at first. So, but I was learning as I went, and eventually I figured it out. And that's when I became passionate about digital marketing. Because if you're going to be in the e-commerce space, you gotta know how to market and sell. And that was one of the things that I had a deficiency in. I just didn't know how to market and sell. And now it's like one of my best superpowers.
So yeah, there's a lot of components and a lot of steps to doing the e-commerce. But the biggest one I think is like what you said, because you can build a website all day long, but if you can't get traffic to it, it's kind of like it's just going to sit there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard about SEO, so being able to do that optimization, but it sounds to me like you really do need to have that component, just some way of making people aware of your product. And that's just like with anything. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And that's why I say like e-commerce is the easiest business model to get into. You just need three things. You need a product, website, which is your store, and customers. That's it. And a lot of people get caught up on the first and the third. Okay, what product I'm gonna have? Where do I find a product, right? And then secondly, they spend a lot of time trying to build this perfect website, which your customers really don't care about that, right? And then they really shy away from the marketing part, like driving traffic to the store. They kind of shy away from that. This is what I've noticed is they spend a lot of time building something, but then they don't want to show and tell. You remember back in school when I think elementary school, they used to tell you like show and tell, like the show and tell, like, hey, you show somebody and then you tell them. And I think a lot of times they kind of shy away from like showing people their story and telling them the story of their brand. So I used to be that guy too. I used to be like, okay, yeah, I'll just build it and they'll come. And I noticed when I built my website, they didn't come. And my store was empty, and I was frustrated, and I was just like, man, okay, I built a nice store. I got a nice product. Why ain't nobody buying? Why ain't nobody coming? And that's when I learned the power of storytelling, the power of branding, and the power of like how to drive traffic to your store. And it's various ways you can do it. And the competition is stiff, but it's various ways that you can do it. And hopefully we can get into that. I'm sure we're going to talk about that one,
Oh,
in this segment.
absolutely, absolutely. So right now, I guess my first question to you is, when I think about a store, I think about Amazon, I think about all these big major stores, and I think about multiple products. So for anyone who's watching, I'm like, you're going to go out there and you're going to probably do some research to find the product that's going to sell. But when a person goes to the store, they just don't see that one product and nothing else? Or are you kind of filling up the store with what? Is it just the one thing that you're selling, or how does that work?
Yeah, I always say start with one thing, because you don't want to get a whole lot of inventory and you don't know what's going to hit. So I always say start with one thing, maybe two, max three, but you don't know which one is going to hit because you may say, okay, yeah, I want to sell cell phone cases. And then you might want to say, I want to sell screen protectors. And then I want to sell chargers, right? You got those three things. And honestly, your screen protectors might actually take off more so than the other two products, but they all go together. So sometimes if you sell things that go together like those three items, then you can definitely sell that. Obviously, those things are compatible with each other. But I always say start small. Don't order a large quantity. You don't need a large quantity because in the beginning you're really just testing to see what works. Like you may think that this product is really cool and awesome, but you don't know into the market what the market says about it first. So I always like teach people, and this is how I find my products, is I look for trending products. I will go on Amazon, I will go on Alibaba, I will go on Etsy and all these other places, and I will see what people are already buying. I don't get attached to the product at all. I just see what people are already buying, and I look at it. I do a little research and say, okay, they buying this, they buying that. Okay, this is a hot selling product. And then I go run a calculator, my profit margin calculator, and I just run the numbers and see what's the profit margins on this. And if it's a really good margin that I like, and I feel like I can get some nice margins with it, then I'll go for that product. But I always say you don't know what's a winner until you test it. But you should definitely do the work up front by just going out and just seeing what people are already buying, and then you just have that because people are already buying it. If people are already buying, I don't know, electric wine openers, they're already buying that, then okay, this is going to sell. I just need to present a compelling offer and drive traffic to my store to get people to buy from me.
Okay. So what's your criteria? Because there's lots of things that are selling. Are you going to a particular market? Are you doing like pet supplies? Are you looking at kitchenware? Like, how do you know which category to go to? Because lots of things are selling. I just don't know
Mm-hmm.
which one do I want to sell.
Well, I think some things I do is this. I really pay attention to shipping. Like how much is it going to cost to ship this thing? You don't want to get anything like super big and clunky that is going to cost a lot to ship. So I try to get things that are like lightweight, right? Lightweight things that can ship relatively easy. That's one thing. Also, I call what I call the sweet spots, and I'm talking about pricing. I like to get things anywhere between like $4.99 to $200 within that price range. If you can get something within that price range, like sell something within that price range, I think that's something good because it's no brainer. People don't have to think about it, especially like $29.99 things like that. Those are like one of the sweet spots that I've noticed that people just easily just add to cart. Like it's a no brainer. I mean, we do it all the time if we go to Target or we go to whatever store we go to, we just add little bitty items in our cart, right? And it's like $4.99, $14.99, $29.99. But I look for the sweet spots. Those are the sweet spots. Shipping, like I said, shipping, sweet spots. And also, like if you got some type of experience with a specific product, right? So if let's say for instance you had pets and you really love pets or whatever, and you notice that this thing that you already use with your dog or whatever, it works, you like the product already, you can, then why not try it, right? Try it. So I think if you got experience, something that you like, if you do like it, and shipping, if it's easy to ship, and also you can price it within a sweet spot where people is like a no-brainer, like, oh yeah, I could just add that to my cart. Those are some of the parameters that I use to look for products.
Okay. So that's good. So that does help kind of narrow it down. What about drop shipping versus selling your stuff like direct? Like, so there's drop shipping, explain them both. So there's drop shipping and then there's also print, I think, print to sale or something like that. I can't remember the names of them, but it's really like having a company ship directly for you or you having the product and shipping it out yourself. Which one is the best way to start out?
Well, I personally think, and there's two schools of thoughts, but some people say drop shipping. Have at it, Hoss. That's cool. What I don't like about drop shipping is you can't customize the packaging. You can't customize the experience of the packaging. And this is something I'm passionate about because um, we all get these ugly Amazon boxes and these ugly Amazon things. They just throw them and say, knock on your door, and they run away and they got this ugly package on the ground, right? I've seen it. You've seen it. I'm sure your audience has seen it. Everybody's seen that. And what you do, you pick up the package, you open the package up, and you just got your product. No wow factor, no, oh, that's cool, that's awesome, none of that stuff. I like I like the details. I love to pay attention to the details because your customers will pay attention to the details. If they got a package from me, I like to call what I call a Beyoncé in a box or a Beyoncé in a package. And what I mean by that is an experience. I like to give my customers, an experience. And if you ever been to a Beyoncé concert, which I have not yet, I got to one day. Hopefully one day I get a chance to go, but haven't been one yet. But this is what I hear on the streets. This is what they tell me. They tell me that it's a hell of a experience. Like you go and it's just the ambiance, the vibe. You can take selfies. They got the music. She's putting on a good performance. You got the smoke. You got the fog. You got the whole atmosphere. And guess what? People wait in line. Those tickets sell out quickly. It's a whole experience that you really enjoy. You like, I really enjoyed that. And I think when you create that your own shipping experience for your customers, I think you can take ownership of that and you can create like this experience that they will remember to say, hey, you know what? That company over there, that little bitty company over there, they actually, I really appreciate the details that they put into this thing for me, right? And I really think that that's something that's very beneficial. That if you're doing drop shipping, you don't have control of that, right? However they package it up, throw it out there. That's just however they do it. Also, price margins. I mean, not price margins. Profit margins is going to crush your profit margins. Drop shipping, it costs money, right? You're literally giving this over as a convenience because it's convenient to you. Like, hey, I ain't gotta, when somebody buy off my website, hey, somebody else can take care of all that. That's cool, and that's fine. But I mean, you're gonna be working for pennies. So if you got Amazon or you got some other drop shipping place doing all that for you, guess what? They're gonna take a lot of your profits. And what's the point of having an e-commerce store if most of your money is going to all these third parties that's taking all your money and you're just working for free almost? So I don't like that. I like to have control of that. Now, I would say this. Once your company start to grow and you start to make a certain volume every day, then I think it's appropriate it only makes business sense to outsource that to someone else. But you still want to have control of your experience, the packaging experience.
Yeah, so I can see that being super beneficial for the product that you're selling. So do you want to tell us about your product that you sell on your store, your e-commerce store?
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be a hypocrite if I'm talking e-commerce and I don't share that I have an e-commerce store, right? So I do have an e-commerce store and it's called Sistah Love. And I'm the co-founder. I have partners in this as well. And basically we are a loungewear company and we sell comfortable clothing, like loungewear clothes for women to feel comfy in, right? Because women like to be comfortable. And hey, guys do too, but women, y'all take it to the next levels, right? And And so we have these really comfortable robes, like luxury design robes. We have t-shirts, and we also sell slippers as well to make you feel comfortable after work. Maybe you had a long day at work, or you had a long day just in general. You just want to slip into an ease of comfort. Then we got you. We take good care of you. So for our robes, we really pay attention to the details. When you get our package, when our package come even before our package come to you, we really send a really beautiful email out to all our customers. We make them, it's very personalized, a very personalized feel that they know that they are supporting a small business, but also that, hey, we thank you, we appreciate you and your support. And so when your package it comes with love, and you get the package. Our logo is on it, our color, our brand, everything, the feel of it. So it's going to automatically differentiate us from that ugly Amazon box or that ugly Amazon package you get. It's gonna come in the mail. You're like, oh, that's different. Okay, all right. And so now you're looking forward to it because we already hyped you up in the email. Like, yo, you got a package coming. It's gonna be nice. We hyped you up. We gassed you up a little bit. So you're looking for it now. And then you got it. It comes in the mail. You ready to open it up. Now you open it up. Nice. You open it up. The package come out. Is in a nice ribbon. We got like this nice little pink ribbon on it. So it's nicely tied up as if your best friend just gave you a gift, right? And then we slit this little postcard in there. It's a thank you on there. It's a QR code that you can scan to a video that pops up with us saying, hey, thank you. We appreciate your business. We appreciate your service, blah, 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 blah. And we have we got just a lot of different things. We got candy. We put candy in there. Just so many different things that we do to create this wow experience, this Beyoncé in the box experience, so that our customers feel like, you know what? I like this company. I like them. I like what they're doing here. I feel a connection with them. And so they're more willing to support us in the future and share and tell other people about us because we differentiate ourselves from like the other people. So that's how we do our packaging. We really pay attention to the packaging, the details, and our customers love it.
Well, you're making me want to order something. I don't know why I haven't yet, but I'm definitely going to do it now.
Yeah, sistahlove.com, sistahlove.com.
All right, I'll make sure that's on the screen somewhere so people can order in the description so that they can order some stuff. All right, so if someone is starting out, like you said, kind of do a little trial. And so I want to know, where would you go to get the product and how many, what's the best quantity to start off with?
Yeah, sure. There's no, it's a lot of ways you can go. It's a lot of different places you can get products. I can only just tell you my secret, because my recipe and what I do, is two places I go to get products from. Now, again, you can get products from anywhere, Amazon, if you want to go to Amazon or whatever else you want to get products. But for me, personally, I get them from Alibaba and AliExpress. Those are where I get those products from. Now, if you're a newbie, beginner, I don't know what that is. That sounds confusing and all that. Alibaba is a manufacturer. That's where they create the products for you, and then they will deliver those custom made products for you. So you can, like, let's say if you was creating a gym shoe, and I say I want my logo on there. I want it to look a certain way. I want it to have a hot top, not low top, whatever. You can customize the product to your liking. Whereas AliExpress, and that's a wholesaler. So think of AliExpress like Costco, right? You go to Costco and there's products already there. Like you get the bulk, you can buy things in bulk at Costco, and there's pretty much like the middleman. So generally, I suggest if you're a newbie, you just got into this e-commerce thing, you like, I don't want to take a whole lot of risk. I only got a couple $100. I ain't trying to blow a bag on this. I say start with AliExpress because you can order smaller quantities. So you can order like 1 piece or 5 pieces. So that way you can test it and see if this is something you want to order in bulk or if it's going to sell. So I recommend start small. Do not go out here trying to like create this. Don't recreate the wheel, right? If something's already selling and you know that it's selling, you've done your research, right? You see that it's selling already. Start off with a small quantity. I say start off with like as small as possible and sell those first few items. And then once those sell, then you can always re-up and get more. Instead of having a bulk, you just bought 100 or 200 pieces and none of them selling. Now you ain't got nothing moving, and you feel you left with the bag. So start small, and I started on AliExpress. I just got like three. You can get like one piece. Like you can order one piece of something. So it could be one pen. You can order one pen, and that's it. And you put that on your online store, and you say, okay, let me see if I can sell this one pen. And if you sell the one pen, okay, now I can go get 10 pens, then I can get 20 pens, and I can get 50 pens. So I say start small and start on AliExpress. That's where I did.
Okay, that's a good point. And then we would graduate, because the first thing that people want to do is slap their own logo on something.
Yep.
Like, that's the fun part. Like, this is my product, this is what I'm selling, and see what goes. But you're saying start off with just regular Joe Schmo, just start off with AliExpress and graduate to that level. Because that's the first thing that I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get my logo done. And like you said, you get hung up. Okay, I got to design a logo. I got to design the website. Got to figure out how I'm going to drive traffic. And then it's just analysis paralysis right there.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you're saying just jump in the water with your 3 pens, throw it on the site, and see if you can make that happen, and then, duplicate the process.
Yeah. There you go, right? It's just like dating. You don't go all in on the first date and say, I want to marry you, I want you to have my kids and all that. No, you just testing the waters a little bit. You put a little foot out there, little fillers out there, see, okay, is this person feeling me? Do I like this person? Is it chemistry? Like, that's what you're doing with your products. You just saying, okay, I'm gonna buy 3 of these things and let's see what happens here. If these 3 sell, great. If they don't, I keep it moving. And because everybody want to have a logo, they want to make it look pretty and all that. But if you go to Alibaba, that's a manufacturer, so you're going to generally have to buy higher quantities. You're going to have to buy higher quantities because they don't make enough money unless they're buying it, selling in higher quantities. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to be stuck with the bag. And I always believe in taking as less risk as possible. There's no need to get stressed out. There's no need to buy in bulk or anything like that. That's why AliExpress, I love it the most, because you can see what's selling in real time, and you can just test it, put it on your store, drive some traffic, and see if you get that result. And if you get that result, which is a sale or a couple sales, then like, okay, all right, let me go get 10 more of these. Let me go get 20 more, and let me see if I can do this same thing. So you want to slowly build as you go, instead of like buying in bulk, and then you got like boxes and boxes of stuff that don't move. And guess what happens when you do that? You lose motivation, you get discouraged, and guess what? You just end up throwing your products out. And I don't want that to happen to nobody. I mean, that sucks.
So that's good. So let's go on to traffic. Can you help out with the traffic? How do you get people to come to your Shopify store? If there's any little tidbits you can give us, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So the first thing I say about traffic, we have to think about this in terms of just everyday stuff, because I think a lot of times we overcomplicate the process. Think of traffic as, let's talk about church, right? Now, you hear church, you hear the word congregate or congregation. That just means a bunch of people decide to be at a certain place, which is a church. They congregated at that church, right? So it's the same thing online. We congregate at certain places. That could be Facebook, that could be Instagram, that could be Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. That's where a group of people are on these platforms. So what we have to do is, when we're on these platforms, we need to get their attention, because people have very, very short attention spans. So we got to get their attention, and we have to throw hooks inside those congregations. So let's imagine we're going fishing now. We're going fishing, and you got all these fishes swimming in the water. And I'm not saying people are fishes, so don't nobody trip on that. I'm just making an example here. But you got a bunch of fishes that's just swimming in the water, and they just swimming everywhere. And your job is to throw a hook. And a hook is something of curiosity that's going to get their attention and get them to stop from scrolling. We want them to, don't do this. We want them to stop and say, oh, 20% off. Oh, okay. Oh, I like that robe. Oh, that's nice. We want to get them to stop, and we want them to click on our ad, or not even just our ad, but just our whatever it is that we're selling, our post or our video or whatever. We want them to stop from scrolling, click on something, right? So we threw a hook out there. We threw a hook, and then we're going to give, once we got their attention, we're going to give them a story, right? And the story is pretty much, that could be, you could say, here's why this is the most comfortable robe that you'll ever wear in your whole life, right? We gave them a little story, and then we're going to give them an offer, right? 50% off, but you got 3 hours left. So that's an offer. We just gave them a hook. We threw something out there. We gave them a story about our robe, and now we're going to give them an offer, which is 50% off, but you got 3 hours. So now, from a customer perspective, what we just done is we just got them excited, right? And people are very predictable with this. Like, we see stuff all the time online, and if it excites us, we click on it and we go to that website. So now they click on our website. They're going to come to our website, our store, and then if our store is properly configured and everything, and that's something that they're interested in, they're going to buy in most cases, right? Because it's a traffic thing. Now, not everybody's going to buy from when you do this, but if you drive enough traffic that way, you're going to get some sales in that way. So that's one way. That's one way. There's multiple ways to do it. I like influencers. I like to use what I call influencer marketing, which is another way. And this is probably one of the most powerful ways, because when you work with influencers, what generally happens is that these people are going to drive tons of traffic to your store. That's what we want them to do. Now, what is an influencer? Real quick here. An influencer, and people see them all the time, right? You see the TikTok person that got 100 million followers, or you see Kim Kardashian, she's an influencer, or these are influencers, people who can influence people's decisions and influence people to do certain things. So let's say, for instance, we had, I don't know, let me think of another influencer. I can't think right now. You got anybody in mind?
Oh, gosh. Well, you say Kim Kardashian. That's like the biggest one I could think of.
I know that's a super huge influencer, but let's just say Kim K. Let's say Kim K. Let's use Kim Kardashian for example. She got like 350 or 60 million followers on Instagram. Insane, right? Now, you're not going to go after the Kim Kardashians of the world. You're not going to do that. You're going to go with micro influencers, people that have under 100,000 followers or less, because the likelihood of you getting Kim Kardashian to to be an influencer for you is probably slim to none. But if you can get those smaller influencers that maybe they got 10,000 followers or 50,000 followers or 30,000 followers, what we want to do is we want to get those people, we want to contact those people through a direct message or email or whatever, however they ask you to contact them. We're going to reach out to them, and then we're going to say, hey, you know what? You got to introduce yourself. This is the brand. This is what you sell, and to see if it's a good fit for you guys, and ask them how much would it cost for them to do like whatever it is. It could be a video post. It could be a story. It could be a reel. How much would it cost for them to do that with your product? So let's say, for instance, I was selling the pen, right? Let's go back to the pen example. I was selling this pen, and I came to you, Kimberly, as the influencer, and you got 30,000 followers on your Instagram page. And I came to you and said, hey, I sell pens. Let's partner up and do this deal. I give you 10% of each pen sales of each pen that I sell. Would you want to partner up with me? And you say, sure, okay. And I say, all right, how about you do a 30-second video with my pen? You writing and signing your mortgage with my pen or something like that. And you push the traffic back to my site. And you say, okay, cool. How much would that cost? Let's say $75. You say $75 for 30 seconds. All right. That's crazy. That's good for them, because that's like easy money for them, right? Just sign a pen and I get $75. Okay, I'll do that all day. Yeah. So, but for you, you get access to potentially 30,000 people. I hope this is ringing with y'all. 30,000 people can potentially, when they see that reel and she say, hey, you know what, go to this site, because they sell really dope pens. you got potentially 30,000 people that's going to go to your website. This is driving traffic, driving people who congregate to your website to potentially buy your product. So that's why I like influencers a lot, because they're cheap. I shouldn't say that. They're not cheap. They're affordable. A lot of them are affordable, and it's way more affordable than Facebook ads and Instagram ads and etc. So influence is another way to go as well. But you can do other things as well. But I don't have time to say all that. But those are some of the strategies that I use. E-commerce it's not hard, but it's not easy. But it's doable for the average American. Like all you got to do really, if you just got you got to have some type of work ethic. You just can't be lazy and just think it's going to it's there. You got to do some work, but anybody can do this. Like I'm teaching my little 14-year-old nephew how to do this right now. He's going to have his own hat company, his hat store, and he's going to be making money as a little 14-year-old kid, not working a job, but he's going to be working his own business, because this how easy it is. Little 14-year-old can do this. So when I hear adults say, "Oh, it's too hard," and this and that, I say hogwash, because you got little kids doing this, and it's that easy. All you have to do is follow the right pathway, get your butt up, and just do the work, and you'll be fine. You could get this done. Anybody could do it, because it's just 3 things you need. You need a product, a store, which is your website, and traffic. That's it. That's all you really need in this e-commerce game.
All right. So the people that are saying, "Oh, you're offering a course to help them," correct? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So I have not only that I have my own e-commerce store, I'm passionate about this. And people kept asking me like, "Ivory, you know all about this e-commerce stuff. And why aren't you sharing this with anybody? Why aren't you telling them what you know about it?" Because people would like try to pick my brain and, "Hey man, can we go to Starbucks, man, so I can pick your brain about this?" I'm like, I just got tired of doing that. I got tired of just like one off here doing that. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just like share and package all what I know into a program, and then I can work with them like together, and we get it done together. Because what I find is that the biggest thing is that people are just having issues with, like, you can show them the videos and say, "Hey, this is step 1 is this, step 2 is that," but people need you to hold them by the hand. And I have a coaching background. I used to be a financial coach. I still do it a little bit, but I used to help people get out of debt, fix their credit, increase their savings, all those things. And what I've noticed is that when I did it with them, they got better results versus me just telling them what they should be doing. So I created this program last year called Online Store Recipe. Online Store Recipe. Online Store Recipe. And basically, I'm giving you the recipe of how I started my own online store. I'm giving you the whole thing. I'm not holding back anything. Everything that I'm telling you now, I go into great detail of how to get your store up and running. And for me, it just makes sense for me to do that, because I'm passionate about it. I know a lot about e-commerce. I've been doing e-commerce for a little while, and I know how to like really get this thing going. So basically, that's what Online Store Recipe is. It's just a 6-week program where there's video courses. So you have the course, then you have the community, which is the community, the people that sign up for that program. And normally I like to keep it small so I can actually help them. And then you have the coaching aspect. So you're not doing this by yourself. You're doing this with me. We're going to do it together, week by week, step by step. We're going to be all in this together, doing it together. And I can actually answer your questions. I can point you in the right direction. I can help you when you get off task or something that doesn't make sense to you. You got access to me for 6 weeks where I can help you break that thing down. And the goal is for you to have your store up and running within those 6 weeks. But if that's not the case, you still have you still have access to the course. But my job is to help you get that store up and running as soon as possible.
Well, thank you, Ivory. I feel like you've shared so much with us today. And it's doable for anybody.
Anybody.
Kids that are doing this. You said you got your 14-year-old nephew about to launch a hat business. So that means that we can do it. And you're offering a wonderful course to help us, and you'll walk us through the process, like very, very hands-on. And I think a lot of us need that. So mentorship is everything.
Yes.
And we can't really look at it as, oh, here's another expense. No, the fact that you have someone that's going to mentor you means you're going to get there in a way that's going to be smooth. You've got someone that has been there and done that already, and it's an investment, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. You want to invest in your business. This is like your first step of investing in yourself so that you can have this business. So it's so worth it. So you are offering our viewers a special rate on your course, is that right?
So I'm hoping to do a new class, a new cohort this spring. I don't know when, maybe April. I'm not sure when, but I always encourage people to get on the email list though. I do have an email list, and you can go to meetivory.com. That's MEETIVORY, meetivory.com. And you can join the mailing list so you can get notified when I do get ready to start the online course. Yeah, and it's 30% off. So it's 30% off. Just saying that if you decide to join. Yeah. And if you don't take anything from this, again, it's 3 things: find a product, build your store, your website, and then just have traffic. If you got those 3 things, you're going to be very, very successful in e-commerce.
No, I get it. Those steps are in my head now forever. Well, thank you, Ivory. This has been a great meeting, and I feel like we've learned so much, and we just know how doable it is. So we will check you out then. Like, do you have social media presence as well?
Yeah, I do. You can find me I'm just on Facebook. I only have 1 account. I believe in the power of focus, so I don't have all 1,000 different accounts. I got 1 account. It's on Facebook. You can just type in Ivory Hodges, Mr. Ivory Hodges. That's where you can find me on Facebook. That's or my email address. That's all I have though. I don't have a million different social media platforms. I don't have time for all that.
Good for you. I give that a thumbs up. Yes, the power of focus. Oh, if we could all only focus.
Yeah, and if you want to sign, also my email. I'm sorry, I forgot my. So the website is meetivory.com. That's where you can go if you want to get on the email list for online store recipe. If you want to do that, if you want to check out our page, Sistah Love. If you want to just see, okay, what is this person talking about? I hear him talking about this stuff. Let me see what he's doing. You can go to sistahlove.com. That's SISTAHLOVE.com, and you can check us out. You ain't got to buy nothing, but just see what I'm doing. Just kind of see what I'm doing, and you'll see that I practice I preach what I practice what I preach, and you'll just see it for yourself. I'm all for transparency.
Yep. He is super genuine, you guys. So I know him just from the last few months. We've been chatting a lot, and I know that he definitely is 100% genuine in everything that he's talking about. He's doing it. So you can definitely trust what he's saying. I'll have all of his information down below, so you guys don't have to worry about trying to memorize what he's saying. It'll be up on the screen and down below. So definitely check him out. And yeah, you guys, this is a great way to make some extra money. There's absolutely no reason why we can't do this. I'm going to do it eventually. I just have a lot on my plate, but I am going to do it too. So we'll all make money together in 2023. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Ivory. This has been awesome. And
my pleasure.
We'll definitely be catching up with you on all of your platforms, and we'll be checking you out.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Well, great. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time on Product.